Almost forgot about that for anyone who may have missed it. And I believe with these recordings, your faces are not shown in these recordings. So that's helpful. So welcome to anyone who may have just joined us. We are just getting started with going over the agenda, and then we'll spend these next few minutes doing some quick introductions. So my name is Kara Kaikini. I'm a lactation consultant, the board president of the Maine State Breastfeeding Coalition. I'm a patient educator at Maine Medical Center, facilitating the breastfeeding group, doing some classes. And I'm also the breastfeeding consultant for the perinatal outreach and education program. And I'm really happy to see you all today. So up next on our list, it's in alphabetical order, is Amanda. So Amanda, can you unmute yourself and introduce yourself?
Hi, Amanda Powell. I'm a doula lactation counselor. I'm the vice president of the Maine State Breastfeeding Coalition, and also a project manager for the Institute for Perinatal Quality Improvement.
Awesome. Welcome, Amanda. Thanks. Amy, good. You are up next.
Hi, I'm Amy Good. I'm an LCSW and the Associate Director for Sexual Assault Support Services of Mid-Coast, Maine. And this is Max, who's 23 weeks, and Amanda was our doula.
I was on mute. Hi, Amy and Max. Thanks for being here. Ashley Olin, you are up next.
Hi, I'm Ashley. I'm a labor and delivery nurse at Maine Med and teach a childbirth educator as well at Maine Med, and teach childbirth education and breastfeeding and all sorts of other fun classes.
Awesome. Glad you're here. Samantha? Oh, I think you're on mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Samantha. I'm a CLC and the nutrition coordinator for the Maine WIC state agency. So I oversee clinic operations, including nutrition and breastfeeding for our local agencies.
Excellent. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna have to just skip. Okay, does anyone know if they identify as caller 1? If not, I'm going to go right to the names, and then that's probably one of the names listed here too. So Cindy, you are up next. Do you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Cindy Godding, and I'm the IBCLC and breastfeeding coordinator for Western Maine Community Action WIC program.
Excellent. Thanks for being here. Cynthia? Cynthia Cohen, are you there? Can you unmute yourself and introduce yourself? It looks like you're unmuted, but I'm not hearing you. We can come back. Maybe we'll come back to you, or go ahead and speak up at any point if you feel like it's working. We'll go to Donna DeMarsh.
Hi there, I'm Donna DeMarsh. I work for the State of Maine WIC program. I'm at the state agency, and I am the breastfeeding and outreach coordinator.
Excellent, welcome. Cynthia, did I hear you again? Okay, we'll maybe hear from her in a bit. Donna Ellis.
Hi, I'm Donna Ellis. I'm a registered nurse. I'm a lactation consultant. I work with healthy children, and I am the secretary for the Maine State Breastfeeding Coalition.
Awesome, welcome. Thanks for being here and thanks for taking notes. Jen.
Hi, Jen Vijay, York County Community Action WIC program. I'm the Biddeford office manager and the breastfeeding coordinator.
Awesome, welcome. Catherine.
I'm Catherine Larry. I am the program director for the Western Maine Community Action WIC program.
Excellent, hi.
Hello.
Kelly.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kelly Bowden. I'm the Perinatal Outreach Education Coordinator for the Maine CDC and based at Maine Medical Center. I'm a nurse. I'm also a member of the board.
Excellent. Thanks, Kelly. Lindsay and Babe.
Hi, I'm Lindsay. I'm the breastfeeding coordinator for the Opportunity Alliance WIC program. This is Zoe.
Ellie.
Hi.
Hey, how old is she now?
She is 5.5 months this week.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's gone by really fast.
So good to see her face. And your face.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, Mary.
Hi, I'm Mary Block, and I'm a Relation League leader, and I'm also a newly accredited IBCLC.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome. Nicole Hart.
My computer tells me when I'm unmuted. I'm Nicole Hart. I am a CLC and postpartum doula, and also I coordinate a school readiness network in Biddeford, and I'm a board member.
Welcome.
Hey, Kara, this is Cynthia Cohen. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Cynthia. Go for it.
I can see you guys. I'm not sure why I don't have, I'm not sure if I'm on video, but I finally called in. So this is Cynthia Cohen. I am the Director of Client Relations for Mother's Milk Bank Northeast. So really, really happy to be here with you all today.
Awesome. Glad you're here. Thank you. Thanks for sticking with it. I know that the technology can be rather challenging and discouraging sometimes. Rihanna, you're next.
I'm Rihanna Flord. I am a dietitian and breastfeeding coordinator at the Bangor WIC office. Yeah.
Excellent. Welcome. Thank you. Sarah?
Oh, yeah, it does say that you're unmuted. Wow. I'm Sarah Gabrielson. I'm the Children's Health Service Line Research Navigator at Maine Medical Center Barbara Bush Children's Hospital. And I am a treasurer on the board of the Maine State Breastfeeding Coalition.
Yes, thank you. Tina? I think you're muted.
Hi.
Oh, hi.
I'm Tina Duquette. This is my 8th year with Mid-Coast Maine Community Action. I'm the peer counselor, and I'm also a CLC.
Excellent. Glad you're here. Verna? Is Verna on? Oh, okay.
Verna Pierre. I'm a CLC with Maine Families, KV Cap in Waterville.
Excellent. Thanks for joining us. And anyone else on the line that has not had a chance to introduce yourself? Okay. Then I think we'll go right ahead in. Thank you all. We'll move right along. We'll move next to our year-to-date update. So who are we? Let's start with our vision and mission. That's usually what we like to start our meetings with. So our vision is that when every baby receives human milk, we will be a healthier Maine. Our mission is that the MSBC is a welcoming and broad network of people supporting families who value human milk and breastfeeding. Together, we work to enhance the culture of breastfeeding around the state through professional networking, advocacy, and education. And we are a 501c3 nonprofit. I believe just in the past, I really have lost track of time, but it's been a year or two. We are tax exempt, which means we can accept grants and apply for grants. We have worked hard on our bylaws and are always revising those. We have a board of directors of 9 people, and we are regularly building awareness and engagement through our meetings that are every other month. We have our newsletters. If you are not receiving our newsletters, please chat your email address into our chat box and we'll add you to our list. And we have a social media presence on Facebook and Instagram, and we also attend events and hold our own events. This is, if you haven't attended a meeting before, this is a sample agenda. So this is where we spend some time getting grounded. We do a board of directors update, and then we have a half an hour where we have a speaker on a topic that we have selected. Then we have about an hour of what's called connecting the dots, where we have a chance for everyone who's on the call to represent what's going on around the state, share what's happening in their work, share any questions they have, and any challenges that they might be having in the work, anything new, that's any legislative updates or any research ideas that have been coming out as well. In the hour before our meeting, we have deeper dialogue discussion, and that is an informal opportunity to share on a specific topic. Sorry, I'm having to move some things around here. And it's facilitated, but it's not a formal presentation. We often try to send out some articles in advance for people to think about ahead of the discussion. These are some of the different topics we've had over the last couple of years. And we're always open to new topics, so we definitely appreciate it when people send us some ideas. And then we have our meeting from 1 to 3 o'clock. And these are some of the topics we have had in the past couple of years as well. Some of the people on this call have been presenters in different topics. We don't currently have an official membership, but this may change as we evolve. In the meantime, we stay in touch with interested participants through email and in-person meetings and social media. So our email listserv has 348 email addresses, which is up from 260 just a year ago. Our meeting attendance averages around 18, including remote attendees, which looks like is about what we have today. And that's up from 15 in 2018. Social media, we have 679 page likes, up from 491 a year ago. Instagram has grown as well, and we might have one Twitter follower, and that is, we're not really doing much there. So we have a little help wanted sign. If there's anyone out there who is really interested in volunteering their time to help build up our social media, there's a lot that could be done in advance. But feel free to offer up your time if you are interested in helping us further our social media reach. Our newsletters, people who are on our email list receive emails like this about upcoming meetings or advocacy opportunities, and recently resources related to COVID-19. Some of the advocacy efforts we've been working on, they might be state or national advocacy, from participating in public testimony, supporting paid leave or donor breast milk, to signing letters of support of the Federal Friendly Airports for Mothers Act, the Supporting Working Mothers Act, the PUMP Act, and federal support for WIC funding. I also attended the Northern New England Advocacy Collaborative at Maine Health this past fall, and it was a great opportunity to connect with residents and attending pediatric providers to learn from them and to share with them about the MSBC and how we can be a resource to them. The United States Breastfeeding Committee is a coalition of more than 100 organizations that supports its mission to drive collaborative efforts for policy and practices that create a landscape of breastfeeding support across the United States. They have a conference every summer, except for this year. Sarah Gabrielson and I attended this past year. Lindsay Mitsopoulos and I attended the year before that. And the conference is incredibly inspiring, as I'm sure Sarah and Lindsay would say the same. We learn from other coalitions and have the opportunity to expand our knowledge about equity in breastfeeding in particular, which is a major component of their theme each year. So if you aren't already getting emails from the USBC, I'd highly recommend it. They do have a way to connect with coalitions, or to when you create a profile, to join the Maine State Breastfeeding Coalition as part of your profile. It's a little confusing, and we're not doing a ton with that right now, but that's something that you can look into. At least get their weekly Wednesday Wire emails. There's a lot of really, really wonderful information in there. In terms of events, we try to have some conference table presence at different conferences like the Maternal Child Health Substance Exposed Conference last year, the Best Connection Conference, of course. Let's Go had an obesity conference last fall, and the Perinatal Quality Collaborative for Maine had a symposium this past fall too. We'll see what ends up happening this year. We hope to be a part of those opportunities as well. And the pictures here are of the Pump Spotting Breast Express bus. We might hear a little more about pump spotting in a bit. But Amanda Powell and I got to check out the bus when they came to South Portland or Scarborough, and it was a great chance to meet the founder, Amy VANHAREN, who is now on our board. So we like to join those events when possible and spread the word about them. That one was a little bit of a last minute thing, and we hope that when the Breast Express can be on the road again, we'll be able to do more events with them. Our really exciting event last year was the MOSAIC of Motherhood Evening of Stories at Frontier in Brunswick, and it was a really fabulous way to raise awareness about the realities of birth, breastfeeding, and beyond through the power of storytelling. We had it on Mother's Day weekend. Here are some photos of the storytellers, and we had 6 women telling stories about their pregnancies, birth, postpartum experiences. It was really powerful. And we're really looking forward to the next event, which was supposed to be in a couple of weeks. And of course, we had to postpone that. We'll be discussing whether or not that happens this fall, or if we'll be postponing to next year's Mother's Day. So we'll be talking more about that as a board and event planning committee. We also had a World Breastfeeding Week family picnic that we worked with the LATCH League and WIC on this. This was a really great chance to be part of the LATCH on. And I don't have our, okay, yeah, so there were 9 latches, 8 breastfeeding people, 27 people total at the event. And that was a lot of fun. The weather was really nice that day too. And we had our board retreat, which was an all-day planning day at Donna's home, which was really a lovely day to connect. It was also an exhausting day. We had a lot to talk about and a lot of work to do, and there's always more to do, but it's all in the name of furthering the mission and vision of the Breastfeeding Coalition. Also, this past October through January, many of you may have heard about this, but we organized a meal train, and we've been contacted by someone at WIC saying that there was a mother who was being incarcerated and she was breastfeeding and she really wanted her breast milk to be given to her baby, but she had no one to do the transportation. So Sarah Gabrielson, I believe, is the one that came up with the idea of doing what's called a meal train, or setting up this meal train. And we had, over this time, we had 30 breast milk deliveries between October and January. We had a few people who made several deliveries. Otherwise, there were all other individuals, and it was a really, really wonderful opportunity to connect with the community and to help this individual provide breast milk to her baby. She was really dedicated, and we wanted to help her. She was in Windham, and her baby was in Winslow, so this was hour-and-a-half to 2-hour drive, I believe, that our volunteers had to go each way. It's something that we would love to share more about this story. I think it was all happening around the holidays, and then there's always something new to be focusing on, but it's something we want to still do a little more with. Amanda, you are up to share the next few slides.
Hi. So the CDC asked us to coordinate with them to create a breastfeeding policy for their Healthy Us scorecard. So this is a website, healthyusscorecard.org, that any work site in Maine can go onto, and they can fill out a checklist. And some other things that are on it are, about tobacco or behavioral health or physical activity at work. But breastfeeding is under the healthy eating, and so they ask different questions about how your company is doing with lactation support and supporting your employees with that. And then can you go back actually?
Oh, sorry.
And then, so you do the checklist, and then there's different strategies that you can pick, and then they create a work plan. So you can go to the next one, Kara.
Okay.
So then these are some of the things that we gave them, some of these resources, the hangers and the mother's room schedule and things like that. And then we, I created the breastfeeding policy builder, if you want to go next, Kara. So there was different levels, level 1, 2, and then I didn't put 3 on here, but different just ways that you can make lactation support better at your company. And I was really excited to do this because I'm really passionate about improving, you know, the transition back to work. And so it was really exciting that the CDC asked us to do this, and we were able to really kind of let them know what things are important and give them some options for that.
Awesome. Thanks, Amanda. And then, do you want to share about this slide?
Yeah, and then I've also been updating our website with the COVID information. So I updated it yesterday. If you see anything that's incorrect or doesn't work, please let us know, or anything that you think should be added. But we have a lot of good resources on there for the most up-to-date information around it.
Awesome. Thank you, Amanda, for your work on all of
Amanda,
that.
can I ask a quick question? It's Cynthia. I haven't looked at it, and I can't say if you don't have it. Maybe there's I can send it to you. There's a link to the Habana website, which has updates on COVID that might be helpful to be posted there.
Yeah, we have the Mother's Milk Bank, the last update you guys did. We just copied and pasted that in there and cited Mother's Milk Bank.
Okay, it has the link to the Habana. Yeah, because it has I'll take a look at that afterwards. But it has the link to the. It's really the Habana link is probably the most helpful. But that's fine if it links it to us, and we'll send them there. Thanks.
Yeah, it has both. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Sarah, you are up next with our financial update.
Yeah, so I'm doing this on my phone, and I'm hoping, oh, I can move Kara's face. Okay, so yeah, so basically this is a summary of this last year, which it's not really our fiscal year. Our fiscal year is just January 1st to December, but just to give you an idea of the revenues and expenses we've had. So the biggest amount of revenue has been from private contributions, but also that benefit night contributions have been pretty high, especially based on the great event. That includes ticket sales from the speaking event, the MOSAIC of Motherhood event. And then we also had some sponsorship that lagged from the previous year. So those were that. Oh yeah, sorry, the ticket sales are down there. And then the benefit night, Flatbread has been a pretty consistent supporter for the work we do. So we thank them for that. We have had Tuesday events in the past. The expenses, you know, the biggest expenses were in the event arena, but I'd say those were very worth it, because those events are really important ways for us to get our name out and to create community around breastfeeding and mutual experiences. The conference, also the USBC, was partly supported by them to have us attend, but also we had to chip in for 2 members to go. Yeah, I mean, we have a pretty slim budget. We don't have any paid staff or any real kind of ongoing operating expenses other than, you know, small amounts of food here and there and printing costs and, you know, things like that. But we're doing well, and we appreciate any donations and grant opportunities that you guys may hear about.
Excellent. Thank you, Sarah. Okay. And again, if there are any questions, feel free to type those into the chat box if you want to just get them out of your head and down. There'll be opportunity for other questions too. So what is next for us? We just spent some time going over the past year. moving ahead, one of our expenses will be paying for a consultant to really help us move along with our strategic planning. So we really would like to get like a 3-year, 5-year strategic plan down. So we're working with KELLEY of Pivot Point Incorporated to help us with this process. We're excited to have some expert guidance throughout this somewhat intimidating process. Several of us have learned a lot about strategic planning, and some of us have on the board now have experience with this, but we're looking forward to a neutral party to facilitate this process. In the past, we had some brainstorming. We had done a survey. We had done some work as a board and in meetings to brainstorm different areas of work that we wanted to focus on just to get us started. And these areas of work include capacity or coalition building, including our capacity building our board, long-term sustainability, financial stability. We want to be focusing on some advocacy, provider and professional education, family education, and community education. So we will be in this next part of the meeting, looking to you to see which of these in particular are you really interested in seeing the coalition work on, or what other ideas do you have that you would like to see us working on. So be thinking about that to share in this next part of the meeting. Excuse me, looking ahead to 2020, we still will be having our coalition meetings. For now, they'll be through this GoToMeeting format and our board meetings. We will still be looking ahead to events, of course, playing it 1 month at a time to see what is reasonable and realistic. We'll still be communicating through our newsletter and social media, and we'll see what the conferences. These are new dates for conferences that have been rescheduled. This would have been the week of the BEST conference. And that has been rescheduled to September 17th and 18th. The main AAP conference that we may be tabling at is also in September, and the Maternal Child Health Substance Exposed Infants Conference, which is a fabulous conference as well, is at the end of September. And we will continue to keep our eyes open around advocacy opportunities too. Our 2020 meetings, we have our dates in the newsletters that have been going out, but these are the topics we have planned for now for June 4th, and we'll have to reconfirm all of the speakers as we go ahead to see who's available still and in what capacity. But stay tuned to hear more about a potential journal club or a discussion around post-traumatic stress disorder and trauma after birth and postpartum and breastfeeding. Our topic that meeting would be Trauma-Informed Care Part 2. If you remember, we had that topic a couple of years ago, or maybe even just a year ago, and it was a really fabulous presentation. There's always more to learn there. In August, it's World Breastfeeding Week, and we would have Hybo speak from the New Mainers Health Initiative to talk about cultural and family beliefs about breastfeeding. That will be both a deeper dialogue discussion and our meeting topic. October, we'll be talking about supporting infant feeding skills with whole body therapies, specifically osteopathic, physical therapies, and meeting topic being about inclusive language. Really looking forward to that topic and working more towards utilizing what we learned there. And in December, talking about disaster preparedness in Maine, and having a deeper dialogue discussion around that, and then having the topic presented by Joe Chappelle from the Cumberland County Emergency Management Agency. So that's what we have planned for the year. I want to spend a few minutes to do some farewell, some best wishes, and a thank you to everyone on our board here. So first up is a quick farewell. I got to get my slides here adjusted. There we go. To Kelly Bowden. So first off, we want to thank Kelly for being an integral part of our board of directors for the past 2 years and part of the MSBC steering committee for several years prior to our official board being created. Kelly currently works as the perinatal outreach nurse educator for the state of Maine, where she serves as a resource and consultant for birthing hospitals, community-based healthcare organizations, and healthcare providers on topics related to perinatal care. I've worked closely with Kelly in the perinatal outreach program for 3 years now, and at MMC for I think 7 years before that. She's a huge wealth of knowledge and a resource the whole state of Maine is incredibly lucky to have. Kelly has been a valued member of our team and served as a helpful link within the perinatal community. Her expertise and wisdom will be missed from our board, though I know where she works and lives. And she is a member of the MSBC community still, and will continue to rely on her as the bright, brilliant resource that she is. So thank you, Kelly, for all you've done. And thank you, Amanda, for participating in a Zoom meeting where we all can thank you with our mics muted maybe. And like I said, I know this isn't really a goodbye because we'll still be seeing you and working with you a lot.
Well, thank you. It's been really incredible to watch the coalition regrow and really build some infrastructure which will make it a sustainable coalition. So thank you. And yes, I'm still around and can still probably be pulled into projects here and there.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you. Okay, and next up, that's not supposed to go up there. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, I'm gonna move my windows around. This is getting really tricky here. Come on now. Hang in there with me, folks. Okay. All right. Okay, so we have new board members. We had a board orientation in January of 2020, and it was lovely to get to know one another and have a chance to learn about each other and to just feel like a new team, since we brought on 4 new people. And it's having a transition like that can be nerve-wracking, but it really, I think ultimately is really optimistic, and I'm feeling really enthusiastic myself. So the first board member that we'd like to welcome is Dr. Jessica Rosenthal, who I noticed joined us. So thank you for being here, Jessica. She currently practices as a primary care pediatrician at Maine Medical Partners, South Portland Pediatrics. She completed medical school at the University of Rochester in 2009 and pediatrics residency at Massachusetts General Hospital in 2012. She is the breastfeeding champion for her practice and has a passion for supporting families in their breastfeeding journeys. She helped create and facilitate a breastfeeding peer support group at her previous practice in Massachusetts. And outside of work, she loves spending time with her husband and 2 children. And I'm so pleased Jess applied to be on our board. I remember meeting her for the first time when she had just moved to Maine, and I was so excited to know that families in Southern Maine would benefit from her support and advocacy. I'm so glad she is on our team. Welcome, Jess. And up next is Brooke Barron, who is not on the call today because she is closing on her first house purchase right now. So she happened to be right at 4 o'clock on this day. So she was pretty bummed to be missing out on this meeting, but we want to welcome her. Brooke has worked on public policy in the Obama administration as a legislative advisor to Representative Pingree, and in her current role as senior policy advisor to the Maine Speaker of the House, Sarah Gideon. She earned her Master's of Public Policy in 2018 from UC Berkeley and is committed to making policy more equitable and just for all people. Brooke was proud to breastfeed her son for over a year, thanks to support from her family, doula, nurses, lactation consultant, and a nursing-friendly workplace. She lives with her husband Sam and toddler Owen in Brunswick, where they love exploring the local woods and waters in all kinds of weather. I look forward to getting to know Brooke more and learning more about public policy. She is a gem to have on our board, and we're really glad to have her as a resource. So welcome, Brooke. Nicole HART is here on the call with us, and she has worked in nonprofits and public policy for over 10 years. She currently works as network coordinator for Biddeford Ready, a community coalition that aims to help more kids arrive at school ready to learn. Motherhood, this is part of her bio here, that all these bios are on our website. Motherhood rocked her world and led her to a passion for supporting new parents. She is also a postpartum doula and lactation counselor and facilitates groups for new moms and babies at Maine Mother and Company in Brunswick. Nicole grew up in Lincolnville, Maine and attended Bowdoin College. She has a Master of Public Policy with a concentration in children, youth, and families. She lives in South Portland with her husband and 2 sweet, energetic boys, both of whom she breastfed for 18+ months, thanks to support from her family doulas and lactation counselors. Nicole is a perfect fit for our board, and I was so excited she made the decision to work with the MSBC in the midst of so many budding opportunities right now. So welcome, Nicole. And Amy VANHAREN. I don't know if Amy is on our call right now. If you are, Amy, speak up. But we want to welcome her as well. She is the founder and CEO of Pump Spotting, a breastfeeding and postpartum platform helping parents feed both family and career. Amy has over 20 years experience in marketing, branding, and social media, having run her own agency, VANHAREN Creative, and worked for Patagonia Provisions, Stonyfield, and Amy's Kitchen. Her experience facing deep isolation while trying to navigate working and breastfeeding drove her to create Pump Spotting and to use technology to unite and empower all the nursing and pumping women of the world. Amy has traveled cross-country to meet thousands of mothers in her Breast Express RV and is passionate about making breastfeeding less lonely and more uplifting. As I mentioned, Amanda and I met her for the first time on the Breast Express last May when they came to South Portland. We all hit it off right away, and I'm so pleased Amy has joined our team. I look forward to tapping into her marketing, branding, and social media experience, as well as soak up her contagious enthusiasm, optimism, and passion. So welcome, Amy. Pump Spotting also just started a podcast, and I'm on one of the episodes that will be released next week, I believe. So check that out. And also you get to hear her story and the Pump Spotting story in the first episode. I think the other ones are about mothers who are also nurses and working during this pandemic. So a lot of great work coming from Amy. So those are our new board members. That is who we are. That's where we've been this past year. This is where we are now. Next up is our connecting the dots portion. So we can learn from you about what you would like to see us working on in the time ahead. So Amanda is going to be facilitating this, and I'm going to take a look at the time. It's 4:43, so we've got 15 to 20 minutes to spend on this. So take it away, Amanda.
Hi. Yeah, so this is the time usually we talk about new things that are happening in Maine, legislative things, research, things that are happening at your work particularly. I wanted to start just asking what, after seeing this, and if you've been in other meetings before, what you would consider our audience to be. I think we've gone back and forth between it being moms and being healthcare providers and things like that. So we're just kind of curious what you see after, viewing this as our audience for our strategic planning purposes. I think you're muted, Carrie.
Yes, she has asked that we go back to that slide where the ideas we had talked about before. So I'm going to skip back there, and then before we get to the next question, I'll come back to this slide. So there we go. And we're going to allow for some pause for you all to think about how you might want to answer, since we really want to hear from you. It can be anything. It can be saying, yes, that one on there is one that I know that or the area I'm in really wants to focus on. Or if there's something on there you don't see, like, we want to hear from you. We don't want this just to be our ideas and our movement. So that's why you're here, and we want to hear from you.
This is Cynthia from the Milk Bank. So obviously anything that we can do, from the Milk Bank that I can do to help with donor milk availability, we want to support breastfeeding. We want to support a human milk diet. I would advocate for everybody to still be encouraging, suggesting to mothers or give them the option of still donating. If they have a strong supply, we're still looking for donors. If, we're still looking for people, any organizations that are willing to do blood draws for us, any way to help that process along. If there are any hospitals, I think a lot of the hospitals that were talking to us about setting up donor milk programs, they're on a little bit of a pause because of
COVID-19 has just shifted everybody's priorities. But, you know, however we at Mother's Milk Bank can be there for Mother's Milk Bank Northeast can be there for anybody, we'd like to do so.
So what are the barriers with the blood draws? You can only go to specific places?
So right now, and I, you know, so I probably should have confirmed this before I got on. I don't think our donor intake coordinators are referring moms to go to any hospitals right now to have the blood, you know, in order, part of the screening process is having a blood test. So we're not referring any moms to go to hospitals, and hospitals did a lot of our blood draws. So we're referring them, I think, to like the Quest laboratories, or if there are other organizations that are able to do that, that are like a little, that are safer, that aren't having, you know, treating COVID-19 patients, that we're sending them there. So, you know, if there's somebody like midwifery practice or somebody who can't, you know, that you know of, who is able to just do a blood draw, a safe, you know, blood draw, and then that blood sample gets sent to a third-party lab that we use in Rhode Island that does all of our blood testing, the ones that don't go to Quest. So, and if mothers are unable to get, we do have, you know, blood draws that are going and being tested, but it is fewer than we were. And the donor intake coordinators, the mothers who don't have a way of having their blood tested, they're taking them through the whole screening process until that point and waiting for that. So, you know, anybody who could help with that in your area, that would be phenomenal.
Okay, thank you. Any other ideas of things we can add, or what you feel our audience might be? Or even ideas for how to get more, you know, people that are actively breastfeeding involved in our meetings, because I feel like we have a lot of professionals come to the meetings, and, you know, we're all talking about things, but we don't always have the lived experience or recently had the lived experience. So any ideas, you know, some of you being moms currently, I mean, you're always a mom, but currently breastfeeding, to come on, or things that would help out, you know, let us know in that way, because we'd really like to hear from people in that sense.
I added a couple comments in the chat, but I figured I'll jump in since it's quiet. I know that if you're looking for folks that we want to get more of, like those folks that are breastfeeding, I think our breastfeeding peer counselors, and Tina, I don't know if I'm speaking up incorrectly, but I think it'd be a really good opportunity to use those folks to get the moms that are really out there currently. And I think our breastfeeding peer counselors would really appreciate, at least the ones that are our location would really appreciate a lot more trainings as far as what the MSBC is, and how they can communicate, and they can work with the group too. So that would be a really good network.
Yeah, we would love to, you know, do an informational meeting with them for sure.
And then the other thing I added into the chat was, I know personally we have a lot of folks that use the WIC services that work in the, you know, traditional blue collar situations. So fast food locations, convenience stores, obviously places that have very limited opportunities for pumping, or good locations for pumping other than their own personal vehicle. So I think if between breastfeeding peer counselors and WIC staff, I think it would be great to give more tools on how to work with those moms on how to better pump at work, and what successes there might be. And I got a dog.
Thank you. That's helpful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Catherine, to clarify what you were asking about the peer counselor trainings. You mentioned learning more about the MSBC, but were you also saying like that like breastfeeding specific peer trainings for peer counselors, or what specific trainings do you feel like that would be helpful for the peer counselors?
I think any direction is good. I think the more opportunities they have to learn and feel engaged and gain skills is always really valuable. You know, more feathers in their cap kind of situation. So honestly, I mean, we could certainly poll peer counselors and see what their needs were or where their interests lied. But I think if we could broaden their spectrum of like everything, I think that's a good thing.
Tina, is there anything you want to add there?
Yeah, I would add, we talked about for years about getting the breastfeeding peer counselors together, and we did it like once, and then it didn't happen again. And I think we did it at, might have been at one of the breastfeeding coordinator meetings. I think we had like a breakout session, and I think that's really helpful in many ways. But yeah, this is my first coalition meeting just because, I just haven't done it just because, we're all so busy. And I said to Lisa, do you want me to do it? She's like, yeah, do it. So, so I'm glad I'm here. But so yes, I think more, maybe even if we met quarterly, maybe as peer counselors, I think that's really beneficial. And I also wanted to speak to what you said about the workplace. I think that's a real challenge because we can tell moms what the laws are all day long, but the fact is they have to work. And the fact is when you work in that type of a situation, it's very difficult to get the time that you need. So I think that's just a conundrum, and I think it always has been that, yes, by law you have to have a place to pump and a clean place and time and all that. But when you add in the reality of they have to work, and not every employer is that sympathetic. And I think that, the fact that the number of employees and all that plays into it as well, like in that particular business. But yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, some of the main problems with that are that, under 50 employees doesn't really have any kind of safety net or legal repercussions. And then also, even if people are breaking the law, trying to, get them fined or things like that is really not easy to do. And of course, you don't want to work for a place that you're also fining because that creates tension. So yeah, there are a lot of problems with that area, but that's a part we're really interested in helping out in the future.
Right, and with a focus on celebrating too, right? Celebrating what those businesses and workplaces are doing and celebrating what the moms are doing. Like, they have to work, so they might not be able to exclusively breast milk feed, right? If they work in those situations. So how can we help support them and celebrate them and what they are doing? Yeah.
Can I jump in one more time too? Sorry.
Yeah.
I also think that going back to the previous, with the WIC lactation breastfeeding peer counselors, sorry, I keep messing up words. I think they could also provide a learning opportunity to the MSBC. Maybe, I don't know, I'm not, sorry Tina to like throw you guys under the bus, but maybe it might be an opportunity for this group of folks. Maybe Donna would want to team up, but do some kind of presentation to the group also, so they know what kind of services would you provide. Might be another good angle.
It might be a good time now when everything is virtual to get more access, because we struggle getting we're the Maine state coalition, and we struggle to get all of Maine or a lot of Maine. So it might be a good time to, really reach people virtually in this. So thanks for that. Do you know how many peer counselors there are?
Sorry, I was muted. We have, I believe, 11 right now.
Can I ask a question on a different topic? It's Cynthia. I just want to throw this in. I've noticed that for a lot of the hospitals we work with, a lot of the LCs have been furloughed, and there's concerns for them whether they're going to be brought back. That's in the state of Maine and some other states. And other LCs, hours have been cut, or they've been moved from doing lactation to being nurses on the floor. And I don't know that the coalition can do much for that. I am personally concerned about all those mothers in the hospital who would have in the past gotten at least some lactation support in the hospital who may not be getting, they're nurses trained, but I don't know that you guys can speak to that. It's a concern that I've had since this has started, since COVID-19 has started.
Yeah, that's a big concern. Cynthia, thank you for sharing that. That's one thing that's been on my mind a lot as well, and one thing that the board, a few of us have been talking about sending just a note anyway to the different birthing hospitals saying thank you for the work that you're doing, and just acknowledging that even if the hospitals don't have a lot of positive cases, they are still, this is still consuming them in different ways. So if we can just at least send from our end a thank you, it wouldn't cost us very much money. It would just be a few minutes of our time to send a note. Otherwise, I mean, of course, we'd want to be able to do something more concrete, and ideas are welcome. I want to acknowledge we have 4 minutes left of the meeting. I'm going to bring us back to the last slide with the other questions, just if you have any other ideas or thoughts that...
Yeah, we can, you know, merge the last two together. So if there were any other ways that you felt we could help during the COVID pandemic, we have the resources on the website, but anything else that you've noticed? And then if there's anything else, I know we're all also consumed with COVID things. So if there's anything else you want to talk about besides that, we're happy to listen. You know, things to celebrate or help with or share. Just you can talk about it now.
In trying to raise awareness and increase your audience too across Maine, I think it might be interesting to have somewhat regular Q&A about anything that's breastfeeding related, whether it's specific questions or policy related things, whether that's like monthly or whatnot, since your board and the people who are here obviously have so much experience, but then also having more of that lived experience and moms available as well. I think that might be kind of interesting.
I like that idea. Thank you. And Ashley, I noticed you added an idea in the chat box too. Dawn, I'm not sure if we're able to capture what's in the chat box here. But so having some testimonials, a video or handout, Zoom recording of positive breastfeeding experiences in Maine. Is there anything else you want to say about that, Ashley?
No, I love Amy's idea. I think it goes hand in hand. Just more examples on social media where people are right now a lot, and just more examples of workplaces that are really doing positive things. So others who maybe their workplaces are not, they can be like, oh, maybe I should be getting those opportunities. Because I think as people start their journey, they often don't understand what their rights are a lot of times. And then I don't know about just like a handout or anything, just highlighting positive experiences, or, you know, doing a Q&A on the Facebook page, like a live with one of the, you know, with a WIC counselor or, you know, just any CLC or IBCLC, it doesn't matter. Just a chance to offer some thoughts and then bring in current breastfeeding moms, I think would be really helpful. And then you know, allowing the groups, you know, breastfeeding support groups and stuff to know about that event happening.
Awesome. These are great ideas. And keep them coming through email since we need to wrap up the meeting now. But if you at any time you think of anything, now that you may know a little more about the MSBC, just know that we're here. We'll try to be boosting our visibility on social media and the newsletter again soon, as we all start to wrap our minds around what life looks like right now and our own capacities. So if you have any other ideas or any ways that you would like to help with anything too, then please let us know. Any final thoughts before we wrap up?
I just want to say that these suggestions are amazing, fabulous. And I just want to reiterate that if you have a great idea and you want more visibility for it, just let us know about it. And like, we can just be a facilitator, because we're, you know, we all have our own family situations happening. So if you, if you have, like, if you want to be that live Q&A person on Facebook with the MSBC, you know, like, talk to us and we can, you know, consider that as an idea, because we love your energy. So, and your ideas are wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely, Sarah. Thank you for bringing that up. And these don't have to be ideas that the coalition has to do. Like, these could certainly be ideas that anyone else can do. And that was kind of one of the questions, that last question is, how can we help share what you're doing or celebrate what you're doing? And is there any other way that we could help with what you're doing too? So keep those ideas coming. And thank you all so much for participating in the meeting and taking this hour at the end of a day, at the end of probably a long week, to join. And we look forward to your continued participation going forward. Thanks, guys. Have a good rest of your day and week.
Thanks, Kara.
Thank you, Kara.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
I'm not closing it out yet until I know that you've gotten everything you've needed from the chat box. You good? Okay. Thank you so much, Donna. Are you doing okay? Otherwise, like in general?
Otherwise, I'm doing fine, and I was able to get all the information from the chat box. The only thing I'm concerned about is I didn't get those caller 1, 2, 3. We didn't get any identification of them.
Yeah,
but I think I got everybody else.
Okay, awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Oh, one other question. Your slides,
yeah.
If I do the minutes, will you insert the slides into them or put it?
Yeah, we can attach that. I know we really, gosh, we haven't really been, our minutes are up on our website. Is that right?
They are. All of them are up already. Yep.
Okay.
They're
So it'll just
up.
be an additional document attached.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll list that you will insert them when I put out the minutes, and then or that it'll be additional, just so folks know. Okay.
Sounds
Otherwise,
good.
great.
Okay, and I know I have some emails from you in my inbox that I haven't replied to, but I'll get there.
Don't worry about it. Nothing crucial.
If anything, don't ever hesitate to just ping me again and say, have you looked at this? Have you had a chance to look at that? Then that's helpful for me.
We're good.
Okay.
Take care.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.